Right, with Meghan Markle, who claims to view Princess Diana as some type of guardian angel, who tells Prince Harry that she communicates with his late mother on a regular basis. She even sometimes comes down and talks to her when she's in yoga. But the moment that Drew Barry body language, now the Drew Barrymore Show got such pushback on all of this, Angela, they've actually had to protect their posts on X. But at the end of the day, can you understand why people are so horrified that as soon as this Netflix show had to be promoted, all of the thoughts of privacy of the children is out the window?
Yeah.
Lights, camera, drama. Meghan Markle's appearance on the Drew Barrymore Show was anything but ordinary. What was meant to be a lighthearted interview turned into a backstage spectacle filled with tension, demands, and a chilling atmosphere. But what really happened behind the scenes? Buckle up, because this story reveals a side of Meghan that many have whispered about but few have seen. From icy interactions with the crew to a confrontation that left everyone buzzing, this is a tale of royal expectations clashing with the reality of daytime television. Before Meghan Markle even set foot on the set of the Drew Barrymore Show, an unmistakable tension filled the air. Crew members exchanged uneasy glances, sensing that something was off. This wasn't just the typical pre-show jitters, it was a palpable anxiety that hinted at the demands to come. Meghan's team arrived with an extensive list of requests that went far beyond what most guests would ask for. Perfect lighting? Sure. But it had to be absolutely perfect. Custom seating? Of course, but it needed to be adjusted to avoid any awkward posture. And the interview questions? They were heavily vetted and restructured to ensure that nothing unscripted slipped through the cracks. Producers scrambled to meet her every demand, feeling the pressure mount as seasoned staff members triple-checked everything from lighting, cues to studio temperature. One insider even described the experience as the most high-maintenance guest appearance they'd ever encountered. The atmosphere grew increasingly tense, with crew members whispering about the royal expectations that seemed to hang in the air like a thick fog. It was clear that Meghan's presence was not just another celebrity appearance. It felt more like a state visit, where every detail had to be meticulously controlled. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of a day filled with unexpected drama. When Meghan Markle finally made her grand entrance onto the Drew Barrymore Show, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. The warmth and joy that typically radiated from the set evaporated, replaced by an icy tension that left crew members feeling uneasy. Instead of the usual banter and friendly smiles that characterized the show, Meghan walked in with an air of detachment, her demeanor cold and distant. It was as if she had stepped into the studio not as a guest, but as royalty surveying her domain. One crew member recalled, "She never once acknowledged us." This sentiment echoed throughout the team, who were used to engaging with guests, who appreciated their hard work. Instead, Meghan seemed to glide past them, her focus solely on the cameras and the spotlight, leaving the crew feeling invisible. The friendly atmosphere that usually defined the show was replaced by a palpable silence, creating an uncomfortable environment for everyone involved. As Meghan settled into her chair, the crew members who had spent hours preparing for her appearance felt a chill in the air. The usual laughter and camaraderie were replaced by an awkward stillness, as if everyone was holding their breath, waiting for the moment to pass. It was a stark contrast to the vibrant energy that Drew Barrymore cultivated, and the crew couldn't shake the feeling that they were merely background players in Meghan's royal narrative. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of a day filled with unexpected drama and tension. As the cameras rolled, viewers tuned in expecting a captivating exchange between two powerhouse women. However, what unfolded was a painfully awkward interview that left many scratching their heads. Meghan's responses felt rehearsed and devoid of the warmth and authenticity that Drew Barrymore is known for. It was as if she was delivering lines from a script rather than engaging in a genuine conversation. The disconnect was palpable, and the audience could sense the tension radiating from the stage. Drew, with her signature charm and heart, attempted to break through the icy facade. She asked questions that many were eager to hear answers to, about struggles, motherhood, and the challenges of public life. Yet, Meghan remained locked down, her demeanor resembling that of a fortress impervious to Drew's warmth. Her smiles appeared more rehearsed than spontaneous, and her tone was flat, lacking the emotional depth that typically draws viewers in. The live audience shifted uncomfortably in their seats, feeling the awkwardness settle like a heavy blanket. It was the kind of discomfort you experience when the DJ plays the wrong song at a party. You want to dance, but the beat just isn't there. Drew's infectious energy clashed hard with Meghan's frosty distance, creating a cringe-worthy moment that left viewers wondering if they were witnessing a heartfelt interview or a poorly executed TED Talk. By the time the segment ended, the polite applause felt more like a collective sigh of relief, signaling that everyone was ready to move on from the tension that had defined the encounter. Then came the moment that sent shockwaves through the audience, a seemingly innocent exchange that quickly turned icy. Drew Barrymore, in her characteristic warmth, shared a nostalgic photo of herself with Princess Diana, a moment that should have evoked fond memories and lightheartedness. But Meghan Markle's reaction was anything but warm. As Drew spoke about the significance of the photo, Meghan's smile faltered, and her body language shifted noticeably. The tension in the room thickened, and it was clear that something deeper was at play. Critics and viewers alike noted that Meghan's discomfort was palpable. It was as if she realized, in that instant, that she wasn't the main character in this narrative. The silence that followed spoke volumes, and social media erupted with commentary about her reaction. Observers pointed out that Meghan's carefully curated image began to crack, revealing a vulnerability that she typically kept hidden. For many, this moment was a revelation. It highlighted the stark contrast between Meghan's public persona and the emotional turmoil that seemed to bubble just beneath the surface. The audience could sense that this wasn't just an awkward moment. It was a glimpse into the complexities of Meghan's relationship with her own identity and the legacy of Diana. As the cameras captured this fleeting moment of discomfort, it became clear that Meghan's carefully constructed narrative was beginning to unravel, leaving viewers questioning the authenticity of the woman they thought they knew. But the drama didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. Eyewitnesses reported that Drew Barrymore, usually the embodiment of grace and positivity, confronted Meghan backstage in a moment that took everyone by surprise. After the awkward interview, Drew, visibly shaken, pulled Meghan aside, her demeanor shifting from friendly host to fierce protector of her team. "You cannot treat my staff like this," she reportedly said, her voice sharp and trembling with emotion. This was no polite backstage chat. It was a passionate defense of her crew, who had worked tirelessly to create a welcoming environment. The confrontation quickly escalated, revealing a stark contrast between Drew's warmth and Meghan's icy demeanor. Sources claimed that Meghan's response was cold and defensive, showing no remorse for her earlier behavior. Instead of acknowledging the discomfort she had caused, she insisted that her demands and attitude were simply industry standard. The clash turned icy fast, leaving everyone in the vicinity stunned. As Meghan walked away without so much as a nod or a word of thanks to the crew or Drew, the tension lingered in the air. This moment underscored a growing narrative about Meghan's behavior, one that painted her as someone who expected royal treatment but failed to recognize the hard work of those around her. The backstage confrontation not only highlighted Drew's loyalty to her team, but also raised questions about Meghan's ability to connect with others, leaving everyone wondering what had really transpired behind the scenes. The fallout from this explosive encounter was swift and unforgiving. As clips of the interview circulated online, viewers took to social media, unleashing a torrent of criticism aimed at Meghan Markle. Many labeled her as fake, entitled, and emotionally cold, with comments flooding in about her icy demeanor and backstage demands. One particularly biting tweet captured the sentiment perfectly. "You learn a lot about someone by how they treat the people who aren't stars on camera." This sentiment resonated widely, and it became clear that Meghan's reputation was taking a significant hit. The internet exploded with reactions, dissecting every moment of the interview and the subsequent backstage drama. Viewers expressed disbelief at how someone with such a high-profile background could exhibit such a lack of warmth and appreciation for the crew that worked hard to make her look good. The contrast between Meghan's public persona and her behavior behind the scenes left many questioning the authenticity of her image. As the narrative surrounding Meghan began to shift, it became evident that this incident was more than just a momentary lapse in judgment. It was part of a larger pattern of behavior that had been reported by former colleagues and insiders. The backlash not only highlighted Meghan's struggles to connect with others, but also raised questions about her ability to navigate the complexities of public life. The stage was set for a deeper examination of who Meghan Markle really is, and the fallout from this encounter would linger long after the cameras stopped rolling. This incident on the Drew Barrymore Show isn't an isolated event. It's part of a troubling pattern that has emerged over the years. Former colleagues and insiders have painted a starkly different picture of Meghan Markle, one that contrasts sharply with the charming persona she presents to the public. Reports have surfaced, describing her as demanding, difficult to work with, and at times downright cold. Words like narcissistic and bully have been used by those who have witnessed her behavior behind closed doors, suggesting that her reign was far from the fairy tale many imagined. Insiders from the palace, often referred to as the Sussex Survivor Squad, have shared alarming accounts of Meghan's interactions with staff. They describe a woman who could be ruthless, barking orders and pushing employees to tears. One shocking revelation indicated that Meghan allegedly threatened to end her relationship with Prince Harry if he didn't make their romance public on her terms, showcasing a level of control and ambition that raised eyebrows. This pattern of behavior extends beyond the palace walls and into her public appearances. The same cold, controlling energy that surfaced during her time with the royals was evident on the Drew Barrymore set. Whether in royal corridors or on a television stage, Meghan's attempts to control the narrative and those around her have left many feeling frustrated and exhausted. It's a stark contrast to the image of empathy and empowerment she often preaches, revealing a complex and often contradictory character that continues to captivate and confound the public. Just when viewers thought Meghan Markle's media playbook couldn't get any more calculated, she dragged her children into the spotlight during her promotional tour for her Netflix series, With Love, Meghan. What should have been a heartwarming showcase of family moments quickly veered into what many critics labeled outright exploitation. Meghan spoke about her children, Archie and Lilibet, with sugary anecdotes and even flashed clips of them on screen. However, the timing of this display raised eyebrows, as it coincided with a new wave of backlash against her. Critics were quick to question whether this was a genuine celebration of motherhood or a strategic move to garner sympathy and deflect criticism. Social media lit up with accusations that Meghan was using her children as human shields, weaponizing their innocence to bolster her image amid growing scrutiny. The contradiction was glaring. While Prince Harry has been vocal about his desire to keep their children out of the limelight, Meghan seemed to flaunt them for publicity, creating a dissonance that many found hard to reconcile. Adding to the controversy, body language experts noted that Meghan's interactions with her children appeared stiff and rehearsed, lacking the natural warmth that typically characterizes genuine family moments. Instead of heartfelt connections, viewers were left with the impression that even her family life was meticulously curated for public consumption. In Meghan's world, it seemed, nothing was sacred, not even her children, if it could be spun into good PR. This revelation only deepened the narrative that Meghan's carefully crafted image was built on a foundation of manipulation and control, leaving many to wonder what was real and what was merely a performance. As the dust settles from the whirlwind of Meghan Markle's appearance on the Drew Barrymore Show, one thing becomes abundantly clear: the carefully curated image she has, crafted over the years, is beginning to unravel. The icy demeanor, the backstage drama, and the troubling pattern of behavior all paint a complex portrait of a woman who is both captivating and confounding. While Meghan has positioned herself as a champion of empathy and empowerment, the reality behind the scenes tells a different story, one marked by demands, cold interactions, and a relentless pursuit of control. The fallout from this incident has sparked a broader conversation about authenticity in the public eye. Viewers are left questioning who Meghan really is beneath the polished exterior. Is she the strong, independent woman her supporters claim, or is she a figure struggling with the weight of her own expectations and the pressures of fame? The stark contrast between her public persona and the accounts of those who have worked closely with her raises important questions about the nature of celebrity and the narratives we choose to believe. As Meghan continues to navigate her life in the spotlight, the world will be watching closely. The real challenge lies in reconciling the image she projects with the reality of her actions. In a landscape where authenticity is increasingly valued, Meghan's journey serves as a reminder that behind every public figure is a complex individual, grappling with their own truths. Whether she can bridge the gap between perception and reality remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the story of Meghan Markle is far from over.